I'll tell you, I'd have paid for them both. Even the one with a chin like a hamster. I wouldn't bore them going on about the bloody war, like that old twat. If a pair of lasses like that came in my house, I wouldn't let them go until they were walking like crab.
Man must find his own salvation. Live life as it's supposed to be lived, and you're choking me. You're choking me. You're choking me.
An inner tumult that cries out against the humdrum ways of ordinary men.
Choking me.
A longing to release the raging fires within. This is the man you see before you. The rebel. The creator.
It must surely, in this day and age, come as something of a shock to the ordinary man in the street to learn that there still exists in this country a sect of people who are still genuinely convinced that the earth is flat. However, and I believe this to be only fair, one should never condemn out of hand the beliefs of others without first investigating those beliefs. And it is for this very reason, despite the fact that more than 400 years have elapsed since Magellan first circumnavigated the globe...
Oh, that word.
Circumnavigation?
No, the other one.
Globe?
Oh, yes, for that word. We never use that. Never. It's forbidden by Article 19 of our Charter. Ever use that. I don't like hearing it.
Well, here in the studio we have Miss Secretary of the International Flat Earth Association. How many members have you at the present?
When we were first formed, sir, in 1922, membership was restricted entirely to the United Kingdom, and there was only 3 of us, including myself and my good lady wife.
I see.
But today, even as I speak to you now, we are 15 in number, sir. 15 in number. And this figure embraces 2 members in Dar es Salaam and 5 in Hong Kong. 5 in Hong Kong and 2 members in Dar es Salaam.
Remarkable, quite remarkable.
Yes.
Could you tell us very briefly just why you think the earth is flat?
Well, sir, I'm afraid one would need a much longer programme than this in order to obviate the necessity of more than a brief resume of all the facets involved.
Have you never seen photographs taken from high-altitude rockets which distinctly show the curvature of the earth?
Well, they're fakes, sir. They're fakes, every one of them. And I'd like to take the opportunity of making it public here and now that there is a worldwide conspiracy of leading statesmen and scientists to discredit our association and all it stands for, as laid down in its charter for their own secret and wicked purposes.
Come now, this is a preposterous idea. You surely can't be serious.
You can see fit to jeer, sir. But the day of retribution will surely come when you and all the other jibing skeptics who mock us will be forced to repent of your heresy or be cast in the everlasting fire with sackcloth and ashes on your loins. And I say it, I will be heard, sir, I will be heard. We waited years for a chance like this. As their spokesman of the International Flat Earth Association, I say unto you that the hour of the great reckoning is not so far distant as you might suppose. Because, sir, by detailed studies of the scriptures, my colleagues and I have ascertained that the world be destroyed by fire on the 17th of every month.
But the 17th was yesterday.
All right, I'm a day out then.
Correct me if I am
I'm
wrong.
a day out, that's all.
Please.
What's the date?
Correct me if I am wrong. You have already incorrectly forecast the end of the world on 4 separate occasions. According to you, we were supposed to have had doomsday in 1923, 1931, 1937, and as recently as 1950.
What are a few years here and there, sir, when measured against the limitless backcloth of eternity? What are they but as grains of sand?
Yes, thank you. Do you mind very much if we get back to the subject in hand for a moment? Now,
Grains of sand.
if, as you contend, the Earth is flat, what happens if you keep on walking in a straight line?
You try and catch me that one, would you? Try and catch me. But you think you got me there? Do you know, sir, it is an incontrovertible fact that every year thousands of people is reported missing from home and disappear without a trace. And what has happened to them? I tell you, they have simply walked off the edge of the world. Could anything be more obvious
Have
than
you
that?
any evidence whatsoever to support this fantastic and unbelievable theory?
Evidence, sir? What more evidence do you need? Verily, sir, I say unto you that when the trumpets shall sound out of Zion and Babylon on Judgment Day, all ye heretics who make sport of us shall be thrown into the bottomless pit, together with the painted hard brides of Satan, who now walk abroad in the streets, trying to turn the thoughts of honest men to fleshly lust. Their posturings and mincing gait. Posturings and mincing gait.
Please, turn the sound.
Woe, I say, unto all these women in their summer dresses and bathing costumes, whose rounded breasts and bodies curve in
Turn him
the
off.
evil shape in which unbelievers say the earth is curved. Let them be destroyed, even as Sodom and Gomorrah's is.
Turn the control
Woe,
down.
I say, unto all things as is bound and curved. Woe unto footballs, ping-pong balls, tennis balls, billiard balls, cricket balls, cannonballs, marbles, and pawnbroker signs. Woe unto melons, apples, grapefruits, oranges, and
down.
lemons. Woe unto balloons, electric light bulbs.
For
Woe
God's
unto-
sake, turn the sound off!
The home of the 21st century. What will it be like? How will we choose to live in the next 34 years? We might fill our with furniture like this. Our beds, tables, and chairs all made of paper. Our home may be lighted by electricity from fuel cells and the wood and leather of stick. Our favorite easy chair might be inflatable, like a huge balloon. The kitchen of tomorrow could look more like a laboratory than a place to bake a cake. Advanced technology already has begun to find a place in the home. With new developments in food preservation, a meal might be stored for years and then cooked in seconds under a barrage of high-energy radio waves. Robots may help us with our housework. It's all possible in the home of the 21st century. No one knows where the search for the home of 2001 will ultimately end. We do know some of today's possibilities, like these luminescent panels. Let's push our imaginations ahead and visit the home of the 21st century. This could be someone's second home, hundreds of miles away from the nearest city. It consists of a cluster of prefabricated modules. This home is as self-sufficient as a space capsule. It recirculates its own water supply and draws all of its electricity from its own fuel cells. As we approach, could be observed by an automatic closed-circuit television system which would notify our hosts. Once inside, we might find ourselves in a glass enclosure where the lint and dirt we've accumulated during our trip is removed electrostatically.
What will the home of the 21st century look like inside? Well, I'm sitting in the living room of a mock-up of the home of the future, conceived by Philco Ford and designed by Paul McCobb. This is where the family of the 21st century would entertain guests. This room has just about everything one would want. A big, some might say too big, full-color 3D television screen, a stereo sound system that could fill the room with music, and comfortable furniture for relaxed conversation. Now, in the 21st century, you might bring your favorite chair along with you when you go for a visit. To do this, you wouldn't need a small trailer, just a little bag like this. Now, there's a full-size chair in here, a chair that blows up like a balloon. Here's the way it looks after it's been fully inflated. When a guest arrives, he just pulls out his inflatable chair, a small pressurized air capsule would inflate it, then it would be ready for use. At the end of the evening, he'd just pull out the plug and put the deflated chair back into his little bag. Sounds preposterous, but some people are convinced it will happen.
It is reported that there aren't any serious accidents in the race, but it still can't be described as uneventful. In Europe, Grand Prix racing comes back to its former glory with an effective new formula, a 750 kilogram weight limit. Here is a clear-cut challenge to engineering skill, and this contest for international prestige is watched by the crowned heads of Europe. Étincelin has a perfected Maserati 8, Chiron an improved P3 Alfa Romeo. The 3.3 Bugatti is a new design and one of the most beautiful racing cars ever built. The revolutionary silver cars, weighing well under a ton, have engines producing nearly 300 horsepower, leaving the Alphas behind.
Meet 3-year-old Leslie Bowles, claimed to be the heaviest baby in the world. When he was last weighed, he turned the scales at 9 stone 2. He's grown a lot since then, but the trouble is that nowadays he refuses to be weighed at all. So we don't really know whether he's solid or hollow. In every way apart from his size, Leslie is normal. He can think, talk and look after himself as well as any 3-year-old. He's in perfect health too, examined by the doctor every day, just to see that there's no fear of his bursting. They don't let him walk yet. His body is too heavy for his legs, but that doesn't stop him getting about and doing things. In this interview, Leslie stated,
"I'm an old age pensioner. I live on £3 a week. There's 20 quid a week going into that house."